Hey, what's up YouTube and Triple T members? Jeremy Barber, owner of Trading the Trend chat room. Hope everybody had a great trading day today. The chat room certainly did. The end of day ideas, we had 6 of them that we showed on the video yesterday. 4 out of the 6 gave us over 5% and 2 out of the 6 went over 10%. So another good day in the chat room. And actually one of our plays that didn't give too much during regular hours jumped up in after hours and gave us some profit. And that's sometimes it takes more than just the next day. That's the plan for them, but sometimes it turns into a couple day hold. So yesterday we went over what a candlestick is, and today we're going to be exploring support and resistance. And you may ask, what is support and resistance? And support and resistance is simply an area where the price reverses. If the stock is on an uptrend, it will be an area where it hits and then starts falling down. Or if a stock is on a downtrend, it will hit and then bounce back up. Support and resistance can be identified by a few things. You have trend lines from previous candlesticks, which is what I use. Some people use moving averages, pivot points, and then you also have the psychological support and resistance, which are going to be your whole numbers and your round numbers, like $1, $5, $10, and so forth. So I put together a little video to show you how I decide what is support and resistance on these charts. Okay, there are many different ways to find support and resistance, or different things you can use as support and resistance. Some people use moving averages, some people use pivot points. I actually use the previous price action, the candlesticks, to find my support and resistance. I don't use any moving averages or any other indicators. Sometimes the previous price action does line up with those, but I don't use them. So what you're looking at here is a chart for CTXR. So you can see right here, we go through a little consolidation mode. It doesn't drop below this, heads up, comes back down. We hit right on this same line again. We go back up again. We come back down, hits right there, bounces up again. We don't quite touch it ever again, but we have 3 touches right on the same line. And that's called a trend line. So that would be our support line. Now up here, this horizontal line, we have this candlestick and a couple of these candlesticks that actually opened right at this green line. When doing trend lines, I try to use the real body of the candlesticks. Sometimes they will match up with the wicks, but I disregard them. And that's the same for a break of a resistance or support. These, while they did intraday break through this resistance, they ended up pulling back and closing back below, and that is a good hold on the resistance. Now we'll take a look at another chart here. So here's another one. You can see our support in blue. So you can see several times it hits, kind of bounces up, hits, bounces up. And it just never can break through and close below this blue line. So even after this huge gap up over here, go, hit pretty close to it right there, go up, we got another hit, almost another hit, and then another hit right there. So that's multiple times it's bouncing off of this line. That would be a pretty solid support. Then you have these 2 resistance lines. This top one up here is from the open of this candlestick and the open of this candlestick. And then this one right here, you have the open of this candlestick. And like I said, sometimes it matches up with wicks better. So right here, a wick, and then another wick right here and through here. And actually you've got a break of resistance right here because this last candlestick closed up above this green line. So I would be looking at the next resistance being this line up here around 580. So that's the basics on how I decide what is support and resistance. And once you're able to identify support and resistance, that's when you'll start getting into chart patterns. As you can see on this, we actually have a triangle formed right here in a breakout. But the breakouts will be for another video. So I would take this information and start trying to identify support and resistance on charts. Now that you should be able to identify support and resistance, that's going to be the starting point, the foundation of trading. Pretty much everything I do is based off of support and resistance, whether it's a stock breaking out or where I have my stop loss whenever I enter a trade. Also the chart patterns that are formed with these trend lines. So it would be a good starting point. Again, you'll need to, it's something you have to work on. Just looking at charts, try to draw lines, try to match up as many candlesticks as you can. And if you can match up 3 or more, that's going to be a support or resistance depending on which side the candlesticks are of the trend lines. So at the end of this video, I'm about to show the results from our chat room that I talked about earlier, also the plays that we entered today. If you're interested in joining the chat room, there is a link in the description. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like the video. Good luck out there and stay green.